All right, Mr. Cox, how you doing today, man? Good to see you again.
Once again, another day, another 50 cent a quarter. Good
Another
way you
quarter.
look at it.
Good, man. Hey, I'm gonna get right into it, man. We got a good show coming, man. Speak today. The rhetoric of erasure, uh, the psychological toll on African Americans, and the counter narrative. So let's go ahead and get into that, man, and get moving. Let's kick it off.
Okay, first, let me start this off by kind of telling you a little bit about Charlie Kirk for anybody that's been living under a rock or a hole the last couple weeks and stuff. Uh, Charlie Kirk, our episode basis is echoing the erosion of the Black American psyche, and Charlie Kirk had a lot, in my opinion, had a lot to do with that and how he spoke about Black people. So let me tell you a little bit about it. Charlie Kirk built a platform that reached millions, but for many African Americans, his words weren't just provocative; they were corrosive. In his this episode, we're going to examine how Kirk's rhetoric around race, civil rights, Black identity shaped political discourse, fueled division, and challenged the progress of equity movements. From his dismissal of white privilege to the attacks on Martin Luther King Jr. and DEI programs, we will try to unpack the psychological, political, and cultural toll this influence and what it reveals about America's ongoing struggle with race, power, and truth. I think those three last words got a lot to do with it. People that do the kind of things that Charlie Kirk did, as far as go out and talk about Martin Luther King, DEI, dismissing that there's such a thing as white privilege. All those things is tells how America struggle every day to try to talk about and speak about racism, sexism, and all the isms in this country and everything. We're gonna talk about his platform and how he used it as provocation. Let's just go over one other thing. Charlie Kirk, at the age of 18, he is a co-founder of Turning Point USA, which is a conservative kind of strategic think tank. And his basic goal was to target colleges, go around, talk to young kids, and challenge their opinions. Now, they said he went around to different colleges and challenged people. I looked at some of his schedule in the past, and I looked at the schedule he had on his upcoming tour. Most of the colleges he went to were Midwest, West Coast, and stuff like that. He might have went to the East Coast. I didn't see none. I really didn't know that much about him, really. When you go to the Midwest and the West Coast, you're not gonna get too many people challenge you anyway. So Donald Trump has went so far as to say that Charlie Kirk is the main reason he won the last election because he gave the Republicans 37% of the youth vote, the highest youth vote that Republicans got in modern time here recently. Let's just talk about some of the today, Suleiman. I want you and I to talk about some of the really controversial stuff he talked about. He said Martin Luther King was awful. He was a womanizer and he should never be revered. He dismissed the Civil Rights Act of 1964 as a huge mistake, claiming Black women like Michelle Obama, Ketanji Brown Jackson lack brain processing power. Downright disrespectful. Let's just start with that. Let's talk to me about how that had an effect on the psychological mindset of Black people and people of color, and why we may not feel like celebrating this person.
Well, no, I mean, I would say this: we black folks know who Charlie Kirk is. I mean, he's not any different. I mean, there's been a whole long list of people, Charlie Kirks, in the history of the United States. A whole list of. I mean, you wouldn't have slavery in this country if you didn't have a bunch of Charlie Kirks. You wouldn't have the Jim Crow era in the United States without Charlie Kirks because he's just somebody just goes out and talks. He's like a carnival barker. I mean, he talks about the Judge Jackson and Martin Luther King, and that they didn't have brain power. Are you serious? What has he done? What had he done in the United States to be a benefit to Americans? In 15, 20 years, only on the conservative MAGA part of the country, or in the online sphere, are you going to have people talking about him? It's not going to. No one's going to talk about him in 10 years. No one in the mainstream in America is going to talk about Charlie Kirk, other than the fact that he was a racist, other than the fact that he said racist stuff. Okay, I mean, black folks have been dealing with Charlie Kirk for our entire lives, for our entire time we've been in this country. We're not educated enough. We're not smarter than white folks. That we can't do intellectual jobs. We've been hearing that for over 400 years in this country. There's nothing new that Charlie Kirk was saying that was different than what we've already heard. It's the rest of the country that is now getting a bullseye view of what black people have been saying this country has been about for 400 years. And that's the issue. That's why you hear about it. That's why it's on TV all the time. That's why you hear people online talking about it, is because they are actually getting the bullseye's view of what we have seen. And you've heard me say on here before, the reason that the bought and sold media is not talking specifically about what he has said is because they are the tip of the spear of white supremacy. If this would have been a black person or a black organization, they would be trying to bury him. If they said
Louis
anything,
Farrakhan.
right?
Excuse me, real quick. Just replace him with Louis Farrakhan,
Exactly.
who's been
Minister Farrakhan, right. The Nation of Islam, Al Sharpton, back in the day, Al Sharpton, they would have tried to bury him. And none of those guys said anything remotely close to what Charlie Kirk has said about black people, about white supremacy. None of them have said anything remotely close to what Charlie Kirk said. But we're supposed to walk around now and have what? Empathy? Sympathy for this man? I've said on here before, black people in the United States are the only race of people that the expectation is that we should be talked about like a dog, in a lot of cases killed like dogs, and then accepted. The same people who are running around talking about we should have empathy for Charlie Kirk and his family had no empathy for Floyd when he was killed. None. He had a family. He had a mother. He had a father. He had brothers and sisters. The same people who are getting on TV and saying that we should have empathy for this man are the same folks that had no empathy for a man who got murdered on national TV.
I believe Kirk said that the with which one was the one that they put the knee on his neck?
You talking about George Floyd?
George Floyd, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
I'm
was just talking
sorry.
about, George
Yeah,
Floyd. Yeah.
George Floyd. I think Charlie Kirk said that he didn't die because he had a knee on his neck. He died because he had a heart attack.
Right.
That's what he said.
Right.
Yeah.
So don't believe your lying eyes.
Yeah,
We all
exactly.
know what we saw. We all know what we saw. But again, I mean, this is what we have to deal with. I mean, we can have empathy for the fact that somebody lost their life, because none of us knows what happens after that you pass. We can have empathy for that. But no, I'm not going to sit here and act as though this man was a benefit to the United States, at least to black folks. He might have been. Go ahead.
They treat him like an American hero. That's
Right.
what I'm saying. Like an American hero. I think when you treat somebody like an American hero, that means that he benefited, he helped to make America better. And to use their phrase, make America great. And I said America. I didn't say white America. I didn't say conservative America. I didn't say mid America. I didn't say, I said America. And that's the thing that we're missing right now. We are a president that's not the president of America, not acting like the president of America, even though he has the title. He's acting like he's the president of conservative America, and everybody else can go to hell. I don't care about other people.
Well, let me just say this. I mean, I've always said this. There's a difference between what people consider themselves, the ones that follow President Trump, and conservatives. I have a lot of conservative friends, colleagues, people who we have disagreements on policy. We have disagreements on how the country is going to move forward. But we're not MAGA, and they're not MAGA.
There we go. There we go.
There's a difference. And
There
just
you
like there's
go.
a difference between far left people and socially progressive people. And most of the country sits in the middle between 40 and 60%, sit in the middle of the country. But yet, as I said, bought and sold corporate media makes money off clicks. They make money off controversy. They make money off people getting angry. That's what you're going to see on TV all the time. So every time somebody from the MAGA side house says or does something, they're going to push that out to you 24/7 to get you mad and get you to watch their shows. Same thing from the liberal side. When you get someone who says something that they consider to be like AOC from the far left, they're going to put that on TV, put it on your computer, put it in all the stories so that you will come to and watch their show and that you'll click on their show. People need to understand that this country is run by greedy people who are focused on making money. That's what this country is run on. It's not run on people that are thinking about where we're going to be 20, 30, 40, 50 years as a country. They are focused on the dollars that they can get right now, and they're going to push the stuff out there that's going to make you come and click on their show.
And that's basically it in a nutshell. And like I said, this young man is being treated like an American hero. If I sound like a hater, I am. I served this country for 21 years. We got active duty military people that are serving around the country in harm's way right now. If they die today or tonight or tomorrow, their bodies will not be flown across the pond on Air Force Two and not be shipped back to their family in that manner. Uh, there there will not be flags flown half staff for the hundreds of thousands of Americans that lose their life on a daily basis. On a daily basis. And I'm not just talking about military, I'm talking about CIA, DIA. I'm talking about all these people that are doing their jobs to make sure America stays safe. Flags are not flown half staff for them. Yeah, I'm hating. I'm hating. I'm hating like I don't know what because I just don't understand it. This is a young man that only started serving the conservative party or the MAGA party. Let me take the conservative party out because I'm on your I'm thinking like you're thinking now. What Donald Trump and this camp of people are doing is not conservatism, it's MAGA. So MAGA right now, what he's done for the last 10 years is serve MAGA. He hasn't served the American people. He's did a good job of dividing the American people and everything. There are so many things that we could say about this young man and the things that the rhetoric that he has out there. I want to go into DEI for a thing. The one thing that he said that stuck out to me was first of all, well, the two things. First of all, there's no such thing as white privilege. Where the hell has he been all of America life? There's always been white privilege. There's white privilege on a daily basis. I'm quite sure at the high level that you're serving right now, you still see white privilege and everything. I see it every day. Okay. The next thing he said, if he gets on the airplane and he sees a black man or a black woman flying the plane, he don't rest very well. Rest very well because he think that these people were hired under DEI, automatically making an assumption about a person because of their color. That's not what America should be about. You cannot automatically make an assumption about something because of the color of their skin. What did Martin Luther King say is the content of their character. And to me, from what I can see, now this guy might have been putting on a show. He might have been a good family man, like everybody say, but out in the public, when he goes out there and take that microphone that are no longer dog whistles, but is a megaphone of calling people out, is he was not his character was not that great as far as black people are considered because he talked about people in a disrespectful way. You can disagree, you can have discourse without being disrespectful. That's my belief in everything. He framed equity as grievance politics, meaning we need equity because it's grievance politics. We're mad because white people are doing so good and everything. This stuff And you might say, what does all this stuff have to do with us as black people? This stuff affects black people, black students. It affects the money that they're taking away from different programs and everything. Let's just take an example. When this young man was killed, they were talking about killing people on HBCU campus. They didn't even know who killed the man. They hadn't even caught a suspect. But yet and still they want to take it out on HBCU campuses. Our kids had it locked down and watched themselves for 2 or 3 days until they found this man. Yeah,
I see.
talk about that.
Right. And part of that is not even the physical stuff. This is what I keep saying about people having this assumption that black folks are supposed to accept violence against us, to us, verbally or physically, and accept it. There is a psychological consequence to that. All those kids that were on the HBCUs now have something in their mind that they're thinking about that they were not thinking about 2 or 3 days ago. That has a long-term effect on our children, has a long-term effect on black people. And I
There it
think
is
that
right there.
that's what I'm talking about, is that we're just supposed to accept it. We're just supposed to say, you know what? It didn't happen. Somebody called in with a phone call. Ha ha. It's no big deal. No, that affects them. That affects how they go to class. That affects what they're thinking about when they're sitting in their class and the professor is talking to them. It affects them. It affects their life when they become adults. And it may end up triggering them if somebody does something to them as an adult and they remember something that happened to them when they were 19, 20 years old. That's the stuff I'm talking about. We cannot accept it. There's a consequence, and I wish that African Americans would recognize that there is a consequence. Like I told you, remember the last um, podcast we had, and when I was talking about image, and I was talking about the way you carry yourself. That's what we need to focus on. And I told you, when I go out, I don't give people the impression that you can talk to me any way you want. I don't give people the impression that you can commit violence against me without consequences. And that's what we need to start showing these people, because they don't understand anything other than losing money and losing their lives. That's it. That's the only thing that changes these people, is when they either lose their life or they lose their money. And we need to start saying to people and letting folks know that there's going to be an overwhelming retaliation or consequence to you dealing and talking to me with disrespect and dealing with me with disrespect. We don't have to agree on anything. It doesn't matter. The only thing we got in common is that we both are Americans. That's perfectly fine. But what we can do as people is allow people to just be disrespectful to us. Organizations, corporate, I know that we want to talk about that. There are corporations out here that are bending the knee, essentially falling behind everything that this president and his minions are doing. We need to keep those companies in mind when this man is no longer in office, because they're going to come back. They're going to come back to our community because they want money. And we need to keep those companies in mind. And I'm talking about companies like Amazon and Walmart and all those companies that are falling behind him, that dropped their DEI programs. Didn't cost them a dime. DI didn't cost either of those companies a dime, but they dropped them because this president told them to do it. We should keep that in mind in 4 or 5 years when there's a different administration in and the country's in a different place. We as a consumer of goods in this country should keep that in mind when we're purchasing and we're making our purchasing.
Good point. Good point. Like I said, what you've been saying this whole segment right here is the meats and potatoes of this. What is the psychological toll it's playing on our youth?
Yeah.
How his rhetoric reinforced harmful stereotypes. That's what he was doing, reinforcing harmful stereotypes. Emotional impact on youth, navigating identity and belonging. His comments on George Floyd, and the black protesting movement. This is his comment about George Floyd, a man that just lost his life. Now, everybody got to be somber because he lost his life.
Right.
And I feel sorry for his family. I pray for his family. I hope his family well. But this is what he said about this man that lost his life in the public eye. He said he's a scumbag and he's just cruel and his death was calculated. He don't know this man. This is what he said. These are quotes. These are direct quotes from him. It tells black listeners, your pain is performative, your protest is petty, and that ensures a deeper violence takes root.
Sure.
We're gonna fight back sooner or later. We might be
No,
slow getting off the we might be slow getting off the finish line. I mean, sorry. We might be slow getting off the starting line, but it's gonna explode in their face sooner or later.
well, the problem is that the majority of these people that are out here running their mouths, they're not soldiers. They're not.
Right.
They're not willing to die for everything they talk about. They want money. And as long as they
Mhm.
continue to get money, they're going to say the things they say. But they're not soldiers. I mean, think about it. You could join the military, all of them. They can join the
Exactly.
service. You want to fight somebody, you can join the military. Military takes people every single day, 365. They'll get sure you get a hot, 3 hots in a cot every day. You could join the
Exactly.
military if you wanted to go and defend the United States and wear the red, white, and blue on your arm. But no, they didn't. They said, I'm not going to do that. I'll let somebody else go fight the war. I'll just sit over here in the United States and live under the power and the protection of our boys overseas. And that's how it's always been in this country. A lot of our politicians are guys that have never put on a uniform, have never done anything in defense of this country. But now all of a sudden they want to be couch patrons.
Exactly. That's
You
a
know, they
good
want to be
word
the people.
for it.
They want to be the people who will send our troops to war over petty stuff because they don't like somebody, or they want to stand up on the Capitol and yell and scream about something that should have been done. I was here. I live in this area. I watched all those politicians running like little girls when the MAGA crew was sack, sacking
Exactly.
the Congress. I watched every last one of them do it. The same ones that stand up there and talk about, you know, how bad they are and how strong they are now. They were running like little girls.
Running just like little girls, trying to find somewhere to hiding behind 'em. That same black man that killed, the Air Force, veteran
Right.
that was destroying property, trying to get into the Capitol, that same black man, they were hiding behind him. He was their hero at that moment.
Exactly. So I mean, I always say, look, you people talk. People talk all the time. It's like I'll give you another example. I go to the gun range and I'm at the gun range and I see these guys in there and they're shooting it. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, it's easy to shoot a target. It's
Yeah.
easy to shoot a target. Nobody has a problem with shooting a piece of paper when it's coming at you. But when somebody else is coming at you with a gun and somebody else has the same weapon in their hand that you have in yours, that's when the real person comes out. And the majority of the people who are up here running their mouths and talking all tough about who they are, they're not going to be the ones that can pull the trigger when we have to. And
Yeah,
that's the problem. Just like I said a minute ago, some of us, the majority of some of us, 1.4% of us, we pull the trigger and sign up for the military. There's a whole
exactly.
lot of people out there that wish they would have signed up for the military.
Exactly. That's the bottom line. Don't just talk about it. Let's be about it
Be
and
about it.
everything.
Military needs people. We got a lot of these young dudes running around talking about what they are and what they're going to do. Go join the military. MEP station is up. Go join. All you got, every downtown's got a place you can go and sign the papers. Go sign up.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the one thing that I always fall back to is how people treat patriotism and different situations according to their thoughts and his feelings. America is about feelings now. It's about feeling. I feel good when Donald Trump is in office. Don't matter that all your money is being taken away from you. Inflation is going up. Eggs are still high. Gas is still high. Everything's still high. But I feel better now that Donald Trump is in there. So that's stupid.
Yeah,
It's really stupid.
yeah. Go ahead.
Uh,
Finish.
but the thing with that is, you know how they blackballed the young football player for kneeling and everything. Was Kaepernick, you know? Okay, so when I used to work security for a Braves game for the Braves, I used to work security for the Braves when the national anthem playing, them folks in there are drinking beer, getting drunk as I don't know what, ain't standing up, taking their hats off, ain't got their hands on their heart. They're not doing anything. They're not showing reverence to this so-called national anthem that everybody's supposed to show reverence to. But they can talk about him when they are not doing it themselves. So this age and time here in America where people got feelings, I feel better like this,
No,
it's really killing me.
yeah, I've said that for a very long time. Is that you want to be you want to call this guy unpatriotic? I would say very seriously. I've always said I'm not a patriot. I'm not a
Yeah.
patriot at all.
Yeah.
People I consider to be patriot are my father, my grandfather, my uncles, who served in the United States military when they didn't have first class respect here. Those are patriots. Men that served in the Civil War who got treated like dirt, but they still fought for their country. Those are patriots. I don't consider myself to be a patriot. I consider myself to be a man who went down, signed up, joined the military. Now, I don't consider myself a patriot at all. I did what I needed to do, what I felt I needed to do.
Yeah.
People before us were patriots because they did not have the respect nor the laws, the state laws, and the federal laws to honor them. But if you're going to attack the Capitol because your president lost an election, um, speaks volume about your character. It speaks volume about the type of person you are. It speaks volume about the fact that you are willing to hurt other Americans for your cause. It just talks more about you. Nothing's pointed at me or anybody else. It talks about you. And we talk about character in the military all the time. What those folks did and what folks are doing today on that side of the house is not patriotism under any way, shape, or form. I used to go to my daughter's games all the time when she played college soccer and the national anthem to play. And I would just stand there and people would be like, oh, just looking at me. And I'm like, dude, I know what country I live in. I don't need the national anthem to be played. I don't need the flag to be flying. For me, I know what country I live in and I know what country I serve. So I'm not going to act like, I'm some patriot by saluting or, putting my hand over my heart and all that nonsense. I know exactly what country I live in. And the majority of people that got issues with what we do or don't do when the national anthem is playing are dudes that when they had the opportunity to join, they did. They're cowards, yellow belly cowards. Simple as that.
Yeah, yeah. It's really ridiculous. Some of the things that we can consider
Patriotism.
important and yeah, patriot, yeah.
Yeah,
And this feeling thing that they got, I've seen a lot of people lose their job in the last couple of days because of some of the things they've said about the Charlie Kirk incident and his murder. And a lot of it ain't even hate speech. It's those person's opinion. It's their opinion. And they're being punished for their opinion and everything. And I just don't understand it. Well, I understand it. I understand it. I'm just trying to figure out why the average American is not paying attention yet. They're still not paying attention to what's going on right under their eyes and stuff. Uh, while this young man did a service for the MAGA people and the MAGA group, I still will say to the end that he didn't do a service for the American people because his speech and the things he said and talked about tore people apart. It didn't bring people together. Now, if he was one of these people, and they give him kudos for going on campus and going straight ahead with people and talking to people straight ahead, that's easy too. It's easy to do that too, to go sit up on a podium like this and tell people, ask you a question, and then be condescending when you answer the question. His last moments, I was listening to the questions that they were asking, and this young man was trying to make a point. He was like, in the last 10 years, how many transgender people were mass murderers? And he sat there, he picked up his mic and said, too many, and put his mic down. What about that is debate? That's not a debate. That's a condescending answer. And just like on cue, all of his supporters start cheering and laughing.
sure.
That wasn't debate. The next question after that, he said, okay. He said, can you tell me how many mass murderers there have been in the last 10 years? He picks up his microphone and said, counting or not counting gang violence, and put his mic back down. Come on, man. That's just a small that was just what happened before. That's not debate, man. That's not debate.
I
And the
mean,
way you talk to people is just crazy. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
it's not debate, and again, it's one way. Because if it was a liberal coming onto campus and having these conversations, then the conservative movement would be upset. He asked for it. He said, "Yeah, when I come on campus, he wants to
Mm.
argue with kids."
Mhm.
I mean, that's not debate. I mean, go argue with men. Go debate men. Go debate people who can speak to you intelligently. You're going on vet campuses where you have 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old kids.
Yeah,
And
I could see that as being something courageous when you were 18.
you're beating up on children. So I
You're
never respected
twen
that.
you're
And I
28 years old now.
And I have no respect for anybody who does that because you're debating people who are not as experienced as you, haven't and don't really know what's going on. So it's not impressive to go and debate children. Go on TV, debate people who have studied this, and you can have a legitimate conversation. That goes back to what I was saying earlier about conservatives. I have conversations all the time with some of my conservative friends, and we talk about the differences in what we believe in and how we think things can move forward. But we're on the same playing ground, right? We
Mhm.
both work in the same, similar organization. We both do similar things around our community, so we can have an honest conversation. But men that go to campuses and beat up on women or little girls and beat up on young boys, I don't have any respect.
So I'm trying to figure out what did we get out of him going to these campuses and debating these kids? I didn't see any. I don't I don't really see the
There was
worth.
nothing. Just
Yeah.
like when the media brings people on and they have this show and you got the conservative and liberal just yelling at each other. That's not beneficial. It doesn't do anything. What it does is it brings clicks and when it
And
brings
you
money to the corporate media. That's all it's about. It's not news. We don't watch news. You turn on news in the morning, it's not news. They call it news, but it's not news. It's reporting on something that's already been reported or giving you half truths. But yeah,
and
we
you
pay these people. We pay NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, billions of dollars in tax breaks they get on an annual basis from taxpayers in the United States to come on TV and turn it on, call it news, but it's nothing but reality TV.
yeah, it's pretty sad right now. It really is. It's pretty sad.
You got reporters, you got reporters that sit at their desk for 20 years, never go out in the field, do a story, never talk to anybody, never give it, they just read what they're told to read. Whatever is put on the teleprompter in front of them, they read it all as if it's news, and we're supposed to believe it. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, like you said, you got these people, pundits. You got on the right, you got on the left, and some shows try to have somebody in the middle. But you can sit there and you can script the show yourself because you know what they're gonna say. You know exactly what they're gonna say. They're not gonna go too far from your script. They're not gonna go to. Nobody is learning from anybody. It doesn't seem to me. And then during this time that everybody, we got to bring the temperature down. We got to stop arguing with each other. Well, that has to start from the top. The president argues every day. He called people names every day. He he's condescending every day. And if you're not a part of the MAGA, you're nobody.
Mhm.
I know for a fact that Donald Trump don't give a shit about me and my family. I can say that with a whole bunch of clarity.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, I'm old enough to know that. I mean, I don't really care what the president or any of the politicians think of me. I don't,
Yeah.
it doesn't really bother me. But I recognize that they're figureheads, and I recognize um, that I'm an American and that I served in the military, and I have a way that I would like our country to be seen, not just internally here in our nation, but across the world. That's what disappoints me more than anything is that people are willing to allow the reputation of our country, things that our fathers, grandfathers, great grandfathers, great great grandfathers fought for, both as a civilian and military, to make our country as far as our image is concerned. And
And when I say
the fact that people are willing to sit back and allow the stuff that is being said and the stuff that's being done on behalf of the United States of America is disappointing to me. That's the problem that I have. Because the reality is the same people who are sitting back and watching this happen are not going to be the people who are trying to rebuild our reputation or rebuild our relationships with our partners around the world. They're not going to do it. It's going to be people like you and I and new politicians that are going to be the ones to do that. It's not going to be the people who are ripping everything apart.
you're exactly right about that. And when I say he don't give a shit about me and my family, I'm a microcosm of people like me.
Right.
I'm not just talking about specifically me. I'm talking about a microcosm of the American people that are in my tax bracket that have the type of family I have. And I don't think conservative like they do. I'm
Hmm.
still an American
Right.
and I'm do all the things that Americans are do, not just MAGA. Americans. I'm do what Americans are do. I'm do due process. I should be I should feel safe in my home. I should feel safe in this country. I should be able to have the right to go out and fight for a job just like anybody else. And that right should be protected. Jimmy Joe and Joe Bob are not giving all their relatives jobs and keeping you out of there because you don't look like them. That's the whole reason we got a federal government to protect the people. Is we the people. It's not MAGA. It's we the people. It's not Democrat. It's not Republican. It's we the people. And until we understand that as we the people, we're gonna keep being told what to do by politicians. We're gonna keep following them like they got us by the nose. We're gonna keep saying and doing stuff and feeling good or feeling bad because our Democratic president is in there or our Republican president is in there. We're gonna keep feeling those things even though it's worse. We feel good when there's a Democratic president in there. Why? Because we think they got our back. But if we really look at it, sometimes they don't even have our back. And when people ask me, why do I vote the way I vote? I tell them I vote the way people, the politician, whoever the politician is, I look at their record. I look at what they stand for. And if they stand for something that's close to what my ideals are, I'm gonna vote for that person. You're never gonna find the perfect candidate. And I don't know why people are walking around here trying to find the perfect candidate. Even in Joe Biden, he too old. Donald Trump was 2 years younger than he was. It's another one of those things, a feeling. All the excuses that the Democratic Party didn't want to keep Joe Biden around, Donald Trump had them in spades. He 10 times them, you know?
See,
At least he had good morals and values.
yeah,
So
I mean,
I'd rather have I'm sorry, man,
no, no,
I'd rather have an old dude with morals and values than have a close to old dude with no morals and values.
yeah. I mean, I think that, I mean, not to get into another conversation, it's for
I'm
another.
sorry, because we have
No,
gotten
no,
to
but
another kind.
what I will say on that is I understand it. I mean, I understand because when you get to or when you're a politician and you get a taste of that power, you get a taste of that authority, you get a taste of being where you are, it's ambition. All the people who wanted to push President Biden out of office, that was ambition. No, I don't think it was anything personal. I don't think any of them disliked Biden. It was ambition. It was that people felt that, hey, here's my shot. This guy is too old in their mind to be president. He can't win. So my ambition is going to force me to push for him to be removed. So the majority of those people, that's what it was about. It was about ambition. And I don't fault them for having ambition. What I fault people for is having ambition and not considering the consequences of your ambition. And
Gotcha.
that's what the issue that I have with some of the Democrats that were on the train to push Biden now is that you are so power hungry and, legacy hungry that you didn't think about the consequences if your plan didn't work. And what happened is the plan didn't work. So I'll end it with that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think we beat this dead horse to death
Yeah, I
almost.
think so too.
And there's nothing else we can say. We don't want to give it too much light. Last thing I'll say is thanks for having this conversation with me. I think this was a conversation that we had to have because there are so many things going on right now. And and there's things that I don't understand. I don't understand why America has chosen to do the things that they're doing right now and going in the direction that they're going right now. And this young man's untimely death has brought to light the divisions in our country, and our leaders don't have a clue on how to get it back to where it needs to be. And that's all I got to say about that. I want to once again let all the black men in particular, all men in general, but black men in particular, to remember this is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Go get tested. It's an easy process. You do not have to die from prostate cancer. So let's stop dying for it. Okay. Give them our particulars and we'll go ahead and log out for this week.
Hey, we're on every week, man. And then our full episode is up on Facebook, and then up on YouTube. And then we put shorts up. We put them up on Spoutable. As we said, 6 months ago, we don't do X, so you're not going to find us there. But you can find us on YouTube, and you can find us on Spoutable. Please comment, subscribe to Gents Making Sense. We're moving up the chain on subscription, so please hit that button, and we look forward to next week.
All righty. So once again, good show, good show. I enjoyed it. So we'll see you the next time.